Justin Trudeau, a spoiled child trapped in a man's body. We only typically see him in the public space, where he's either crying or trying to lecture us, but mostly crying. But there's another side to Justin, where his toddler-like arrogance is on full display, and that's in the House of Commons.
Mr. Speaker, during the last election, the Prime Minister claimed that no veteran would be forced to fight their government for the support and compensation that they have earned. The Prime Minister has broken that promise. Last week, he said that veterans were asking for more than we are able to give.
They're asking for more than we are able to give right now.
Now, the Prime Minister has managed to find money for convicted terrorists. He's managed to find billions of dollars for infrastructure banks funded by wealthy investors. And he's managed to find a way to bill taxpayers for the cost of his illegal trip. When will the Prime Minister apologize for his insulting and demeaning comments to our veterans and apologize for breaking his promise?
Honourable Minister of Veterans Affairs.
Speaker, we are committed to the well-being of veterans and their families.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, that question was for the Prime Minister to answer for his insulting comments. Why is it that every time he makes a mistake or says something stupid, he has to leave it to other ministers to defend his answer?
Mr. Speaker, we learned today that 32 people, including Chinese billionaires, paid $1,500 to meet the Prime Minister at yet another Cash for Access event. A billionaire real estate developer and bank founder, Ted Zhu, Jenny Key, an actress and real estate investor, the CEO of Gold Mount Capital International, and even a member of China's Communist Party attended this event. So over 80 exclusive Cash for Access events have been hosted by the Prime Minister and his cabinet, targeting wealthy stakeholders in the last year. Now, absolutely everyone can see the blatant conflicts of interest here. So why can't the Prime Minister?
Here.
The Honourable Leader of the Government House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Unlike the previous government, Canadians have access to this government. This government committed to working with Canadians.
Order. It's the opposition's responsibility to ask tough questions, but it's also the rules so we don't interrupt the answers. The Honourable Order, or else we could have a shortened question period.
I'll turn this damn bus around.
The Prime Minister himself was the star attraction at this exclusive Cash for Access event with Chinese billionaires. Zhang Bin is a political advisor to the Chinese government, and after attending the event, he and his partner, Mr. Gensheng, donated $1 million to the Pierre Elliott Trudeau Foundation, including $50,000 to build a statue of the former Prime Minister. Now, we know the Prime Minister's love for the Chinese dictatorship, so what exactly did he promise the Chinese for their $1 million donation?
Government House Leader.
This government is working for Canadians.
It's this Prime Minister that has changed the process so many times, and it's our men and women in the armed forces who are suffering for it. Now, in 2012, Australia's Auditor General identified numerous issues with the F-18 Hornets. They will require significant structural upgrades and repairs just to see service in Canada, and it's far more likely that we'll spend billions of dollars just for spare parts. It's not just me who's questioning these decisions. Even the Australians can't understand why we're buying their old planes rather than doing what they're doing, which is buying new planes. So, if the Prime Minister is so keen on buying fixer-uppers, will he come over? Because I've got an old minivan I'd love to show him.
Mr. Speaker, does no one on that side see the ridiculousness of the Prime Minister giving the House Leader the job of appointing the person who will be investigating? The House Leader was given her job by the Prime Minister. She answers to the Prime Minister, and every day we see her standing up answering for the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister has acknowledged that there's a conflict with him appointing the next Ethics Commissioner. That's good that he's acknowledged that. Does he not see that this is not a fix? And the same conflict still exists, and I hope the House Leader doesn't get up and answer for him because it proves my points.
Honourable Government House Leader.
Canadians. We are here to serve Canadians. Those are the very people that we work hard for.
The House Leader will be appointing somebody who will be investigating her boss, the person who appointed her. This is nonsense. Now, it would be really nice if we had a Prime Minister who wasn't always in ethical hot water. Unfortunately, here we are in this position where the man who is leading this country is also under multiple investigations.
How could that not have occurred to you, with all due respect? You were going to take a free holiday from someone you consider a friend, but obviously you have a different definition of a friend than the Commissioner. You knew that they had a lobbying registry, that they were set up to lobby the government. How could it not have occurred to you that that might not have been okay?
The fact is, we work sorry, let me just try to reorder the thoughts. We worked with the lobby conflict of interest commissioner on a regular basis on a broad range of issues when the issues come up.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday the Prime Minister articulated his sophisticated thoughts on the threats of global terrorism. He told Americans that it was super important to invest in investigative national security stuff. He then described the impact of violent acts of terror, saying Canadians are able to respond to, quote, bad things happening without, quote, falling into a bad space. After abandoning the fight against ISIS and cutting our armed forces, can the Prime Minister tell Canadians what kind of stuff he's investing in and how he plans on keeping those positive vibes coming to keep us out of a bad space?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
I'm glad the Leader of the Opposition's new duties hasn't kept him from his daytime TV watching.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Well, Mr. Speaker, after a week of avoiding me, that was the only place I could find him.
If you're wondering why we cut out all the Liberals' answers, here's why.
The government House Leader gets up day after day after day and repeats the same lines over and over.
We will continue to do the important work that Canadians elected us to do. I know that we need to bring this place into the 21st century. We committed to modernizing the way Parliament works. We will continue to do this important work. We committed to modernizing the way Parliament works to make it a 21st century workplace. I look forward to working with all members in this place to have a meaningful conversation so that we can bring this workplace into the 21st century. I look forward to engaging in that conversation so that we can bring this workplace into the 21st century exactly as we committed to Canadians. Our objective has always been to ensure that Parliament is relevant to Canadians, to ensure that their voices are also heard in this place. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Excellent. Member for...
You're a good dog, Mardish.
Repeating Liberal spin and outrageous comments 1,000 times don't make them true. And frankly, it's embarrassing to watch the House Leader allowing herself to be used by the Prime Minister like this.
I am pleased to work with the Ethics Commissioner and Conflict of Interest Commissioner to answer any questions she may have. I am very happy to work with and answer the Ethics and Conflict of Interest Commissioner questions. Canadians expect the Prime Minister to work with the Ethics and Conflict of Interest Commissioner anytime she has questions, and that's exactly what I've been doing. Speaker, I'm happy, as should be any member of this House, to work with the Ethics Commissioner, answer any questions that she may have. I will work with and answer the questions that the Ethics Commissioner and Conflict of Interest Commissioner may have. I'm happy to work with the Ethics Commissioner on any questions she may have. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to sit and work with the Ethics Commissioner on answering any of the questions she may have.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very pleased to work with the Ethics Commissioner to answer any questions she may have. I'm very pleased to work with the Ethics and Conflict of Interest Commissioner to answer any questions she may have.
I am pleased to work with the Ethics and Conflict of Interest Commissioner to answer any questions that she might have. I'm happy to work with the Ethics Commissioner on any questions that she might have. I'm happy to work with the Ethics Commissioner to answer any questions she may have. I'm pleased to work with the Ethics Commissioner to answer any questions that she might have. I'm happy to work with the Ethics Commissioner to answer any questions that she might have. I'm happy to work with the Ethics Commissioner to answer any questions that she may have. I'm pleased to work with the Ethics Commissioner and answer any questions that she may have.
I'm very pleased to work with the Ethics Commissioner to answer any questions she may have.